the key to freedom. Welcome to the Path to New Earth Freedom Dream Life podcast. And so we have some special guests here today. So I'd love to introduce you, first of all, to my beloved Takata, my divine partner, my twin flame.
Hello.
It's been a minute since we've done a video together, so thanks for joining me, babe.
You're welcome.
And we have some beautiful guests, and I'd love to introduce you to Pana and Victoria. So I'd love to have you just share a little bit about yourselves and a little bit about your freedom journey. So you two have been traveling the world together. You have chosen to step out of a traditional, quote-unquote, traditional lifestyle and follow your heart path.
Yeah.
And as we are also doing the same. But first, before we get into the podcast, it's going to be a short 20-minute episode today, talking really about how to live the path of your dreams and how to follow your heart. But we do want to acknowledge today what's going on in the world, and we do realize that there's some very, very horrible and tragic things happening right now. And so we're coming on live today to bring you positivity and bring you something to your feed that brings you enlightenment and hope. Would you like to speak to that?
Yeah, so of course it's difficult times in the world and there's a lot of tension, but what is the counterpart to that? And that is love. And that's also a big part of the freedom that we have, because if we choose to love, if we choose to open our hearts and follow the path that unfolds from that, that's for me freedom.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Same.
And outside there, despite the fact who is fighting who at the moment, if we maintain that we are two human beings and what brings us together is love, wherever you go there's love. There's 100,000 religions, traditions, political values, whatever, that what brings us all together is we breathe air, we drink water, and we love.
Yeah.
Right? So, and that's for me one of the most important things, and this is what should go out there.
Absolutely.
That's why we talk about it today.
Yes. And so what I'd like to point out to all of you too is that when the light is super bright, then the shadow is also equally as dark. And so what happens is that the shadow is cast even heavier and darker and bigger as the light begins to shine even brighter. And so we are all here to shine our light and to give you something to hold on to, an anchor, a lighthouse. And so we're here in our space in Austin, Texas, called La Lighthouse Holistic Co-op. And we have these beautiful guests who came in from Austria, and we'd like to share a little bit about their story. So I'd love to ask you both today, where did you start out before this freedom journey? What happened in the middle? And then where are you now?
Yeah, wow. It's been a complete 180 for me. I started out working, 9 to 5 as a massage therapist. I mean, I love massage therapy and I love my work and my craft, but I was just feeling stuck. I was content. I was, single. Also, actually, to be completely transparent, I was in a poly relationship and exploring what I wanted and what I didn't want. And I was very unhappy in that relationship. But that's how I figured out that I'm a 100% monogamous person. And no judgment to the poly community, it's just not for me. And so I decided to follow my heart and go to this Texas Eclipse Festival. And I decided, okay,
That was April of 2024.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. April of 2024, I decided, okay, I just need to do this. I know I don't have the funds for it at the moment, but I have to follow my heart. And so I
something
did.
pulled you to buy that ticket.
Exactly. Something pulled me, and I kept trying to, my brain was like, no, you don't need that, you don't need that. But my heart's like, you need to go. And so I was pulled, I got the tickets, I went there, and that's where...
First festival.
Also, it was my first festival, and I went alone, just me, and I had my truck bed tent. I was super proud that I put it together all by myself.
Yes, girl
yeah,
power.
exactly. I was like, I did it.
We don't need no stinking help. We can get our tent set up by ourselves.
Exactly. Yeah. And then, but who would have thought that night I met a man that would later be my now husband? So, yeah.
So over the eclipse,
Yeah,
you fell in love?
exactly.
Wow.
That night.
And the night before the eclipse.
The night
Wow.
before the eclipse, yeah.
Aww.
We met there by the sacred fire, and yeah, this man bumps into me eating his chicken, and I'm just there meditating, looking at the fire, and he's eating his chicken like he's never eaten. And then, and I turned to him, I said, "Oh, hey." And then he introduced himself with his mouth full of chicken. And that's where it all started, chicken.
That's the answer to the question, is chicken.
Chicken, in case you wondered.
Yeah. Yeah, no, and then, we were talking all night, and we had a beautiful night together. Next morning we wake up to text, the eclipse is canceled, everybody needs to leave. And so he made it to where I could still stay in the festival grounds.
So let me explain to y'all what happened is that there was some massive lightning storms coming through Texas, and so there was 10,000 people at the festival?
60,000.
60,000? Wow.
Yeah.
Personally, Takata and I were told not to go because we are very high frequency beings, and so we were actually holding space at the Colorado River at the Texas Music River Ranch with a small group of 9, and we were actually swimming in the sacred waters during the eclipse.
Beautiful.
And so we were holding down the water.
I love
And so then we got word that everyone was being kicked out of the festival, and so they had threatened lightning. There was not enough, security and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And so they were asking people to leave, but it was complete chaos from what I heard.
Absolutely.
So and you were a part of the festival.
Yeah, so let's rewind a little bit to the start of my story. So I was a professional chef in 5-star hotels, Michelin star restaurants, and started working with 15 and working 50, 60 hours a
And
week.
you were living in Europe?
I was living in Vienna. I'm born and raised there, right? And I had a big burnout with 23, and then I started my different path. I did many courses.
So 2 years?
What?
At age 23 or 2023?
No, in age 22.
Age 23.
And the
Okay.
age 23,
Oh, okay.
yes. So 2016 or something. And then I started my different healing journey where I did many courses, from Reiki to massage therapist to different things. And at some point I started organizing events, working with indigenous elders, and this was kind of developing into my path until I organized with a friend our own festival in Austria, and through that we were invited to the Texas Eclipse Festival to hold a space and create a sacred fire space there, and we invited indigenous elders from all around the world, and we're doing ceremonies there. So really serious work in an utter madness of 60,000 people, approximately 80% on drugs, dancing to the hardest EDM music, very loud, very much chaos, but we were holding the space there and being content. And I sacrificed that day because she said I was eating chicken. I sacrificed that day my food because the elders, there was a problem with the accreditation and whatever, so the elders didn't get any food, so I sacrificed with 2 or 3 team members our food for that day so the elders could eat.
Wow.
So in the evening I finally got something to eat, and I sat by the fire, and then I bumped into her, and then everything changed, and it was I was in a state of, okay, I'm happy single, I don't need anybody. So I had, in Vienna I had something going on, but it was not a serious relationship. But I had the feeling that I don't need to be in a relationship. I don't need a partner to be happy.
Yeah.
I was really like complete and full with myself, right? And like
Yeah.
I'd like to
in
pause
this
you
part.
right there.
Yeah.
And I'd love for you to speak to that because
Yeah.
our relationship really mirrors
Yeah.
y'all's in that way,
Mhm.
which is why the Spirit brought us together, not
Yeah.
only once, but twice, but 3 times since you're
Yeah.
here in Austin,
Full
just
circle.
full circle,
Yeah.
visiting. And so, Takata, you want to speak to that?
Yeah, the part about the feeling whole and complete within self. Before Isla and I got together, I had spent 5 years single, and I was very much in that place of content. I was very content and happy. Like I was perfectly fine with the idea that of just living out my life on my own, just as me, myself, and I as my partner, and not needing an other necessarily to feel complete within myself, you know. And then that was, it was just in that state of comfort and strength within, and then there was this piece that was also like, you know what? I am happy on my own. I am good on my own, and also, I'm open to exploring relation with other because I am now feeling complete. I'm open to that, and then that's when I called in an other that then matched.
Yeah.
This
And I
other.
came in as her ceremony partner.
Mhm.
And so we started holding ceremony together over 2020.
Yeah.
We didn't have any idea that we were twin flames.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
think a big piece of that is when we are in that place of oneness within self, of happiness and joy and comfort, whole and complete within self. That is when we are actually ready
Yeah,
and
exactly.
available
Yeah.
to actually experience what it is like to be in relation with other in a whole and complete state.
Yeah, when two whole beings come together
Yeah.
and create synergy rather than creating codependency, which is
Exactly.
like the role model
Absolutely.
of relationship that we have all around the
Yeah.
world that is displayed
Very
in
true. Yeah.
in all the
Very true.
films and everything. Oh, I cannot live without you.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna die if I
My
don't
other
have
half.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
the other
that's
half.
that's not the act. It's two complete circles meeting
Yes.
Mhm.
as sovereign beings,
Right.
and that's when we come together to find our divine masculine, divine feminine counterpart.
Exactly.
As
yeah.
you sit across here as a mirror to me,
Yeah.
and y'all sit across as a mirror to each
Yeah.
other. It's so beautiful.
That's well put. Yeah.
So I would love to circle back on your freedom journey began when you made the sovereign decision to leave and leave the job, become as a chef, and really start working with the elders.
Yeah, I had no other chance. So my body was, I had like full body reactions, so I could not work anymore. And so I asked myself like, okay, is this all? Like, cannot be. Like I saw, especially in the gastronomy, especially in the kitchens, you see how broken the people are, how damaged the people get through the stress, how choleric, how bad, how mad, how crazy.
Yeah, there's
Like-
TV shows all about that.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
the crazy
the bear.
chefs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so they're drinking or smoking or taking other drugs, and that's the way. Like if I
Yes.
continue that
Got my
path,
career.
Yeah.
is my path that? So I'm gonna destroy
Wow.
myself and need to intoxicate myself in order to survive that, or to go through the day and go home with back pains. So that's not the way, right? So and then I started my first courses, and I started developing more into meditation, more into the world, and at some point I stumbled upon a beautiful gathering in Netherlands. It's called the Kiva, where indigenous elders from all around the world come together and pray for 4 days for Mother Earth. And there I
And the
understood.
kiva is the center of the home, right?
Yeah, so the kiva is actually the tradition of the Hopis, where they have a pit in the ground, and there's altars in the 4 directions. In the middle is the eternal flame that is burning through the whole gathering, and every morning and evening they come together there and pray together, all of them, right? So, and there I went through 7 sweat lodges in 4 days.
Wow.
And like deep prayers and like talking with the elders, connecting with them and understanding that they have, they're tapped into something that is completely different. And they're tapped into something that is similar to each other. Doesn't
Yes,
matter if
right.
they come from a complete different part of the planet. They are all connected to the same source. They're all connected to the same truth,
And which is earth.
which is earth and which is love.
And love, exactly. And so these are the teachings that we operate on when we're working in our highest frequency and our highest good. And so it doesn't mean there's not problems. It doesn't mean there's not hard times. But it means that we have stability of these ancient teachings to fall back on. So we know that this is the beauty way. This is the sacred path. And this is the way that we walk each other home.
And
Yeah.
also our challenge in today is to, of course there are beautiful teachings, of course there are beautiful ceremonies, and there are beautiful ways, but we are born into the cities, we are born into a modern society, right? So our job is to take those informations, take those paths, those lineages, and weave them into our life that we are
Right, and make
having,
it
make them tangible, make
tangible
them
and relatable
Yes.
to
Yeah.
everyday teachings, because
Right.
these teachings are alive.
Yeah.
Yes.
These teachings are they are not dead. They're absolutely fully alive within us and all of our elders who have passed before us. And so when we walk this way, the world becomes very small. The world becomes very interconnected. Our
Yeah.
soul family finds each other
Yeah.
because we are all in the same frequency of lifting up each other, lifting up humanity, lifting up the planet, and holding the frequency of knowing that we are in the space of the timeline that we will find peace.
Yeah.
And our children's children will benefit. Our children's children's children will benefit
Yes.
as long as we continue to hold this frequency.
Right. Keep it
And
going.
we can only hold that frequency as well and also lift the frequency and raise it if we look within and look in the shadows. And then it's also the importance, like if we are talking about, okay, we are a community, we are supporting each other, then I need to point out, hey Ayla, this and that I realized I personally don't find that nice, or maybe you should look at that, right?
Yeah,
And point the
and we
things
can
out.
reflect that to
Exactly.
each other without any controversy, just
Exactly.
simply a mirror.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Right.
help each other go through that, and also more than anything be like honest to ourselves, like where are my shadows, where I have my blind spot, right, as
Right.
they say. And that's what real connection and real leadership is about, to acknowledge our own faults, our own issues, or I wouldn't say problems, because they're just issues that can be resolved, right?
Right, and it's like, if I may,
Yeah, sure.
the family traumas that have been passed down, or societal impressions, or ways of being, or genetic history that doesn't have to continue. It can stop here. Siri also wants to talk to us. And so we know that these things have happened and have taken place in history, and we can choose to take that and learn from that and reflect on that within our own, and notice what beliefs we actually are ours.
Yeah.
And once we realize that some of these beliefs are just dogmatic, or they're passed down and they actually don't align with our highest timeline or our highest truth or the highest trajectory of the planet, we can choose to let them go and receive that wisdom
Yeah.
and carry that forward, receive the lesson, but let go of, say thank you Siri, and let go of all of the baggage, all of the karmic imprints
Yeah.
by choosing to do the work now. And that's why those of us that are working together in this lifetime now
Mhm.
are choosing to be on the same mission, and
Mhm.
we're all on the same spaceship
Mhm.
doing the work.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
So yeah, would you like to speak to that?
Yeah, and so I was just thinking, and through doing that work and going inward and healing those lineages, we're able to make decisions at a more clear heart center.
Right, from
And
the heart, exactly.
Yeah. And so with these decisions coming from the heart, coming from love, we can really tap into the reality and really quite literally step into that reality that feels like a distant mirage.
Yes.
And it becomes real. It's not a mirage.
It does.
It's just like a breaking through.
Quantum leaping.
Exactly. Quantum leaping. And that's what I did.
Well, I'd like to circle back to your story,
Yeah.
if I may. Do you have something to speak to that?
Yeah, so that's what she did.
Yes.
Like we spent after the eclipse, we spent a week here in Austin, and then I had my ticket back, so I needed to go. Right, things to do over there. As beautiful this connection was, right? But I didn't even know what it was. But driving away from the festival, a voice started, or my spirit started telling me, she's the one. For half an hour, it didn't stop.
Oh.
And I was like I was going crazy, right? So I was like, I just met her. What do you mean she's the one? Like, in our conversations, right? And and we spent a beautiful time here in Austin, and then I left, right? And then we're like back and forth talking on the phone, videos, and time difference, because there is 7 hours difference, right?
Yeah.
So it was a big challenge, and then we also spoke about her to come to Austria and so on and so forth. And one day she calls me and tells me, you know what? I quit my job and I booked a one-way ticket to Austria, and I was like, what?
How did that
Really?
feel, Victoria,
It felt
when you
so
chose
good.
that path? And, well, first of all, what gave you the courage to just quit your job and go for it?
It was this feeling, just this knowing that of safety and that everything is uncertain, but I knew one thing was for certain, is that I needed to do this. And it was coming from my heart, and it was so clear, and because of that, I had no fear.
Right.
Like, yes, it was like, ooh, exciting, but no fear. It was more just like, okay, I'm ready, and I'm finally doing something that feels right to me, and so that's what I did. I sold most of my belongings. I fit all of my life belongings into a suitcase, and I booked a one-way ticket to Vienna, and
and history was written. Her story was written. Right?
Yeah, exactly. And her story was written, and then we had a beautiful couple of months. And the more that I got to connect with Panos, the more that I felt like, okay, this is my reality. And right off the bat too, I definitely felt, okay, this is my man. This is definitely my man. And I was also came out of nowhere, wasn't expecting it.
Yeah,
and it was
as it
very
does.
much exactly. I was very much content, and also the thought of never finding somebody or never getting married or never having kids, also okay with that. Maybe it's not for me. That's fine too.
No attachment.
Exactly, yeah. And so once I became completely okay with that, then I meet this man.
That's
I get married.
exactly it.
Yeah.
And that's the frequency.
Yeah.
And so and I want to tap into that just as we wrap up, talking about the frequency of collapsing timelines.
Mm-hmm.
Because when we come into a space of inner knowing that we're okay with any outcome and not attaching to it, but yet we have a vision and we know what feeling we want in our life. We know we want these particular, not like people, but we want someone to experience life with, whether it's a community or whether it's a partner.
Yeah.
We might know we want to live by the ocean. We might want to know might want to live in a tiny house in the mountains, y'all are doing.
It's not a tiny house, it's a whole farm.
A whole farm. Well, in a village that's far, far away from everything else. So a whole farm.
In a village far, far away.
And we don't know what that actually looks like, but we know what it feels like.
Yeah.
And so we get into this feeling and realize that the visions that we are creating are creating that manifestation of that feeling, and then these two things collide.
Yeah.
And it's like this vision and this feeling is equally running to each other, like two freight trains running at the same pace forward.
Exactly, yeah.
Two magnets coming together.
Right.
And when we are open to be complete within ourselves, but yet also open to, like she called in, I'm open, because for 5 years she wasn't. And then all of a sudden she said, you know, I would like someone to match me on my path. Yeah, that would be great. And then as soon as she said yes, then I arrived in her reality. And at the time, you know, it was platonic, but we met a need for each other. We were holding ceremony together. We were holding events together. We were holding retreats. And then a relationship bloomed of professionalism. You know, there was no outcome, no expectation. I was happy with that.
Yeah.
I was happy to have a travel partner. That was all I wanted.
Yeah.
You know, my husband was staying at home. He wanted to stay at home, didn't really want to travel. And so, but yet we don't really know how it's going to show up. Allowing ourselves to be open to however that manifests.
Yeah.
And do you either want me all or you want to speak to that?
Yeah, I wanted to say that it's like the pressure or the difficult times that we are living, especially those in relationships. So as a very sensitive and open man, I had very often not so positive experiences with my ex-partners. And this shaped and like a diamond that needs pressure to be crystallized, right? The pressure or the, in parentheses, bad experiences and the hurtful experiences help us to realize what I actually want by showing us what we don't want.
That's exactly true. That's the law of attraction.
And for me, I was at the point where I was coming out of a very toxic relationship, and it was where I realized, okay, there's a beautiful term, it's called non-negotiables in a relationship, right? And I made my own list about, okay, this is not negotiable for me.
Exactly.
Like, for example, that you're not emotionally available, or that we are like being bad against each other, or that there is violence, or that we are attacking each other.
Yeah, that's like just absolutely no.
This is an absolute no. Or
what we call a hard pass.
Exactly. Or that we are on a similar path, that we have a similar direction that we go together. Because if the two ways go in a different way, then there is nothing that can hold us together, right?
That's what happened in my relationship.
Yeah, and sometimes love is not enough.
Yeah, there's an expiration date to the contract, if that's the case. If you don't have a parallel path and a parallel mission, the mission will outride the path in soul contracts. It will. And there's a higher contract to a twin flame contract than there is to a soul contract, because we have agreed above and beyond all other man-made contracts or contracts of this life. You know, and so that's why soul pods travel together. That's why we always find each other, you know, no matter where we are. Yeah. And it's amazing, as we're walking this path, wherever we go in the world, we find collective tribe that is walking the same path of this freedom lifestyle. And that's exactly why I wanted to have you on the podcast today, is just to talk about how your path has, as you've traversed the globe, but yet continue to foster these relationships, you know, through your path and through your purpose, and continue to also grow together and align your mission together on this path in love.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Thank you for inviting us. And just a fun fact about jumping into freedom and jumping off that cliff and spread your wings, right? The travel to Texas last year was my first time out of Europe.
Wow.
So I traveled to Europe all around and everything, but I never left the continent before. And the moment I decided to go, boom.
Wow. So you had to take that leap of faith. Like she was saying, the leap of faith is belief in things that are yet unseen. It's really easy to believe in things that are seen.
Right.
Oh, thank you so much, Great Spirit. Thank you, God, for these things that I already have.
Right.
those are obvious.
Right.
Of course we should say thank you for these things.
Yeah.
But the truth is that when we're grateful for things that are yet to be, that's when it pulls it into our life.
Exactly,
And that's the most powerful frequency we can have.
Yeah, the frequency of surrender.
Surrender,
Yeah,
trust, and gratitude.
Exactly. Yeah. That's what led me to him
That's
and
so
to
beautiful.
Vienna, and beautiful
Into your
life.
new
there.
life.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then in the end of November we got married.
It's so beautiful. So beautiful. So thank you for sharing your story of love
Yeah.
and your journey and your little snapshot of your both of your brave, courageous moves. And the universe said, "I've got you."
Yeah.
And guess what? Surprise!
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
beautiful.
got
Do you want to say anything to wrap up?
It's just a beautiful reflection. So many similar bits and pieces. The calling in for myself was also really structured on, I saw a review of past relationships, past friendships, past people that had been close to me in some way and I saw each little piece that was that. I want that part.
Right.
Little clues, breadcrumbs.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
that part of
Little
this
gold
one.
nuggets,
And
yeah.
Yeah, gold
and that-
nuggets.
I don't want any of the, like, not that part.
Yeah.
This part.
Yeah.
Very specifically, these pieces. These are all the pieces that I want. I want somebody that matches me on my path. It's their path is already walking. Our paths are parallel. Like
Right.
we are walking.
You
in
don't
the
have to
same
take a hard
direction.
left or a hard right to match.
Right.
Yeah, they're
It's
like just
Yeah.
It's easy.
it's gonna it's just gonna fall into alignment.
Yeah.
You know, and I had no idea, of course, as I spoke those words out loud to what I thought was just my ceremony partner friend,
Yeah.
that I was activating something also within her that called her up to match me. I had no idea. No idea. No
Yeah,
idea.
be careful what you wish for.
Right.
It came through instantly.
And it does.
Instantly.
And
Yeah.
we're in this frequency of instant manifestation now. So we do have to be so mindful of how we state things and whether we state it out loud, whether it's really what we want. And just yesterday we held a water blessing ceremony. Y'all might have seen on my stories. And I was standing at the edge of the pool before the water blessing ceremony, and I called in my intention. It was more of a declaration, versus affirmations, declarations are super, super powerful. So I declared my declaration over the waters, and I was getting ready to dive in. This beautiful Mississippi kite comes right directly overhead and lands in the tree. And then, so Siri's agreeing. Siri likes to participate in the podcast.
Yeah.
And then a second one, and a mate, and then a third one, and a fourth one.
Oh,
So
wow.
that all happened before our water blessing ceremony. So there's always these little signs from Great Spirit that you can see are confirmations on the path. Like, oh, here's this little thing that's gonna, as long as you're paying attention, you're gonna notice. You know, and if we walk around on our phones and completely tuned out or stuck in our head and don't look up, we won't ever see the
Easy
beauty.
to miss. Yeah.
Easy to
Yeah,
miss.
being present is so key.
Yes, absolutely.
And I also want to share, like, as a closing, something for the current situation in our world, right? So there's a beautiful saying of one of my teachers, and he said to me, there's one mountain, and there's many paths that lead to the top of the mountain, but if you reach the peak, the view is the same.
Wow.
And this is just an invitation that we should take away those I'm Greek, I'm Turkish, I'm Israeli, I'm Jewish, I'm this or whatever, or I'm American, I'm a proud American, it's the best country in the world, and everything, right? And just take that away, right? Just put that away, and either if you call it God, Allah, universe, Buddha, whatever, it's all the same. It's the same source. It's the same energy, the same background, and the same.
Thank you.
What we have here. It's like we're
Right.
humans. we're brothers and sisters. It doesn't matter where we come from.
Right.
And just because some people decide that they have the power to destroy the lives of others or implement conflict and start conflict, we are not bound to continuing that.
You're
I
absolutely
have
right.
a lot of friends in Austria that are Syrian and Israelis, and they are like best friends, singing around the fire and making fire ceremonies together, or dancing together, enjoying their life together, just because cultural differences.
Exactly.
Like, for example, I'm from Greece, or my family comes from Greece, and there's a lot. I grew up with the conflict and the mindset of that all the Turkish people are bad. And then I started to meet Turkish people when I was older, and I was like, hey, they're the same. They're my
normal
brothers.
people, yeah.
Like, we have so many similarities, even cultural and everything. They're just Muslims, and we are Orthodox Greek, right? But and we speak a little bit of a different language, where half of the words are the same.
Yeah.
Because it was like one country for all along.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah.
So that dissolved inside of me this mindset of there's a difference and there's hatred. And again, to circle back on the first thing, love is the key to freedom, because if we start to love each other, and that's a golden rule that is in every tradition.
Every tradition.
Love your neighbor as yourself.
Love
but what
and gratitude.
implements that we love ourselves first. And if we don't carry love, if our cup is empty and we
Exactly.
go and empty to all the persons around us, we stay empty. But what happens if we just have this glass and let it fill with water and spill over?
Exactly.
So we are full of energy and full of love, and then we can share, and there is an abundance for everybody else around us.
Exactly. And I like to always say that, can I borrow your teacup?
Oh yeah.
Such a good, this is the
There's
example.
some
So
water
your teacup is overflowing, and we give from the saucer. We give from that place of overflow. We don't pour water out of our cup, because then we're depleting our vessel. So we always take time every single day for our self-care, for our practices, and allow our cup to be full and overflowing, so that way we're never depleting our own life force energy. And this way we're always giving from a place of overflow and abundance.
Yeah, I call that self-nourishment.
Self-nourishment, absolutely.
And I go through my life with one simple question: is does it really nourish me as a whole being?
Right, and
And
that's
this
a good
is my compass, how I
barometer.
recalibrate my compass that brings me through my life. And that's how it led me to her, and it led me here, and
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you so much, both of you, for taking time out of your Austin trip to be on our podcast and be with us for our water blessing ceremony. And we look forward to having your going away event soon, and coming to visit you in Europe. And so until the next time, we shall be tagging them in the video. You can follow their Instagrams. I'll be tagging them in the comments. And is there any place that we can learn more about the retreats you're holding in Austria?
yeah, like on my social medias, and as well on my website.
What's your website?
paparoots.com.
Okay, can you spell that out for us?
Papa, like Papa, P-A-P-A and ROOTS.com.
PapaRoots.com.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
very good. And so thank you so much. We really appreciate
Thank
both
you.
of you,
It's
and
been
so
a
much
pleasure.
love. It has been such a pleasure.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you for inviting us.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you all so much for joining in this beautiful episode of Path to New Earth. I am Isla Valkyrie, and your hostess with the mostest here. Until we see you at the next time, blessings be, and namaste.